Okay, guys. I'm so excited. It's not even funny. Harry Nick has posted a new video, exclusive X-Wing spoilers, XWA standard loadout cards. Let's go, guys. So we definitely know there's 3 new Scum SLs linked. I've seen the pilot names. I have not looked at any abilities or upgrade cards. I've just gotten the images off. I've got Madking Brutus, who's dedicated 1.0 Scum player. Played the game all the way through every single edition Scum. So him and I are gonna do a blind react on the upgrades and stuff. But I just wanted to start this video by saying, check out Harry Nick's channel. I haven't watched his video yet. He's got a 30-minute video here. Check it out, have a look, see what he's saying, because he knows a lot about these cards and has done a proper video. We're just doing a fun react, like just to see how amazing this is. I'm super excited. I've been waiting weeks, like literally weeks, since first SL Mando was spoiled to see the rest of these. And we're going to talk about SL Mando as well, because we have played a couple of test games with it, and we're excited. We are excited about him. He is a good ship at 4 points. He does have a lot of downsides, but we will talk about that. But anyway, yeah, we'll get into it in a second. Yeah. All right. So first up, we have got Cad Bane SL. So he's got the same stat bar as normal card Cad Bane. Same ability, same dead to rights. He's got focus boost evade, focus barrel roll, evade barrel roll, and a red cloak action on him from Xanadu Blood. But he's got flechette cannons, which is new, I think, or old. Yep, so after this attack hits, if the defender is in the bullseye, defender gains 1 strain token, 3 dice, range 2 to 3. That's pretty good, like his sync laser cannons that most people put on him, which is good. Helps you give out tokens to help your friendlies with the strains, which is pretty cool. Yeah. And then we've got Todo 360, which is a new crew. I'm pretty sure that was his little droid. Is that right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, Todo. During the systems phase, you may spend 1 charge. If you do, you may remove 1 stress token to gain 1 strain token and 1 calculate token.
Ooh.
That's pretty cool.
Ooh.
That means, so like realistically, if your ability, you roll up, focus barrel roll into a bullseye, with flechette cannon, pass off your stress token, give him a strain if they're in bullseye. Then next turn, do whatever you want. If you take a stress, during the next systems phase, when your ability's back up, you can ditch the stress for a strain, do whatever you want, and get a calc, and then use your ability again. That's pretty cool. It helps with his dial stress mitigation a little bit.
It does, because you can do a lot, because the main problem with Cad Bane is after he does a Talon or a K-turn, you know what he's going to be doing.
Yes, he has to do a blue maneuver. So this gives you the options to just ignore that blue maneuver, take a strain, and do another 5k maybe. That's pretty cool.
Exactly, yeah. So
yeah.
Dial look like?
Just grabbing that up now.
Blues are everything but 5 straight, and...
Oh, this isn't working well.
Banks, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, this is not working. Yeah, so they have 1 bank, 2 bank, and then 3 to 4 straight. So that means he could potentially 5k into maybe a 3 bank, or 5k then to a 2 Talon roll, or 5k, 5k. Gives him a lot of options to get rid of that stress. Even more options. Yeah, even more options than he had before with passing the token off. I think that's really cool. And getting the calculator as well, that's a good soft mod. You could you could definitely do a 5k into a 3 hard. That's pretty cool. And then Xanadu Blood also has a new ability. After you decloak, choose an enemy ship in your bullseye. If you do, that ship gains a strain token. That's pretty cool. It's like Scimitar, the Scimitar title on... Yes, the Scimitar title on the... I'm forgetting what they're called. The Separatist... Sith Infiltrator. Yes. Sith Infiltrator. That one can't take the title. There we go, Scimitar. That one gains a gem, so this one will give a strain token. I actually like the strain token more. I think giving that option to hand out strains is really good. helps yourself, helps friendlies. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So, do you think he's going to be 4 points still?
Uh,
I'm thinking. What we're
they
seeing.
keep they keep standard loadouts usually a little higher than the custom at the moment, so I wouldn't be surprised if this comes out at 5.
Yes, that is true. I'm thinking that they're looking at
Yeah.
giving us more options at the same
Yeah.
point value. So, for instance, like if you look at first order, some of their SL loadouts that have been leaked, like Lieutenant LeHugh's standard loadout, he is also 4 points, similar to the current pardon me, the current LeHugh's, but he has technically more loadout in his upgrade points, but he's limited because he's not a 3-die like front arc anymore. So I'm thinking this looks like a 4 point ship to me. Like Toto kind of works similar to Contraband, but you have 2 charges. So I reckon Toto would probably be a 5 point upgrade on Cad Bane. Flechette cannons, what do you reckon? Like a 6 point cannon, 7 point cannon?
That'll be 5, 6 points.
Yeah. Because ion
Because
cannon 6 points,
yeah,
sync laser cannon 6 points with 2 cannon slots. I'm thinking that
because it
looks like
is a
a
yeah. It is
it.
a rework from the 1.0 Flechette cannon, so it still does roughly the same thing. So in 1.0, it was range 1 to 3, 3 dice.
Yep.
If this attack hits, the defender suffers 1 damage, and if it's not stressed, receives 1 stress, then cancels all the results.
Yeah, okay. So that one was giving out stresses, and obviously because we got strains in the game now, and his ability also hands out stresses, they
Yeah,
didn't want to make it
but
the same. Yeah.
yeah, but the Flechette cannon 1.0 only did 1 damage,
And
whereas
this,
this
yeah,
you can still hit all 3, deal all 3, and because you got them in your bullseye, it's dead to rights. You're
yes.
more than likely going to be assigning a strain as well. So I'd probably see this Cad Bane probably in lists where you want more lower initiative pilots, so they can take advantage of that strain.
Yeah. That does sound right. Yep. Because currently with Cad Bane, my go-to build is sync laser cannons and Zuckus or Forlom crew, just to give you tokens to hand out. I've seen you fly sync laser cannon proton rockets, which is a very good smack them in the face Cad Bane. So your proton rocket build's probably better in a list with less ships where you're more of a damage dealer. Where this Cad Bane seems more like a support piece, able to hand out strains with Xanadu Blood and Flechette cannons, hand out stresses. Yeah, he seems to me more like a what would you call it? Like like a support shooter type of thing.
Yeah, he's a setup for a lower initiative ship
Set
because
up for low initiative. Yeah.
if you do it right, you can assign 2 strains.
Yes.
You
The
assign this. Yeah, you assign the strain from the Flechette cannon, and then because you use his ability to assign the strain from Toto 36
yes.
from 360.
That is true, yeah, because Toto, if you don't get rid of the strain, because let's just say if you're ditching the stress, you're probably doing a white maneuver. So yes, if you're not shot, you can hand off that strain. Yeah,
Calculate
that's
target
good. Yeah,
lock is more than likely going to push through 3 hits.
yeah, definitely. And if you 5K'd the round before and you're potentially behind their list, there's less chance of them hitting you. I really like that. I think Toto's a really interesting upgrade.
I'd
I
like
think,
to see it at 4 points, but this is 5, just because of all the tokens you can hand out.
yeah,
Statistically, you can hand out 3 strains a turn because of Xanadu Blood too.
I think the only problem with Xanadu Blood is the fact that it's after you decloak, so that's in the systems phase. So if they did dial a blue maneuver, there's a high chance they're getting rid of it. Um, so ships like A wings or your really fast stuff like your high silencer and FO, they have a higher chance of ditching that. So it'll mainly be trying to focus a ship that isn't stressed already, that has a high potential of doing a white maneuver if you want to try
Which
and push
in a
the Xanadu
joust
blood out.
is in a
Possible.
joust is predictable. Big ships, not so much, mostly because they like to usually cruise around with blues.
Yes. Yeah. So I think Xanadu blood, the effect from that's going to be more of a situational, like maybe I get it off and they don't ditch it. But I think most of the time when I rock up into an engagement, I'm doing blue maneuvers from stress turns before. Especially just thinking on like a scum perspective, I would be doing mainly blue maneuvers. All your slower ships like Y-wings would actually have a higher chance of keeping that, but they've already got one agility, so taking them down to 0 is good, I guess. But still, it's a good. Sorry, yeah, what
It's
were you gonna
still a
say?
good medium to big base shutdown though,
Yes,
because it's especially easy to hit that decloak bullseye arc. If they Usually if they're trying to get out of dodge, they're doing whites. If they're hovering around the battlefield like a YT 1300, they're doing whites.
yes,
They absolutely love their 3 hards, which is a white maneuver for them.
yeah, definitely.
So it is going to be a really good way to put a check on larger base ships, which Scum doesn't necessarily have too much of a problem with, but the action economy that other factions can give their large base ships to give them a ton of defense and defensive mods. This is a good way to kind of keep that in check.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Yeah, but yeah, I think this is a really interesting like set of abilities, just all the strains handing out. You still have your primary ability to hand out stresses if you want. All your strains from Toto. I think that's really good. I like it. I really like it. I think
I really like it.
I think it's going to be an interesting piece. I'm hoping to see it at 4, but 5 points, as you said, it does seem like it could be a 5-point ship.
Yeah, I don't see it not being a 5-point ship.
Yeah, okay. I'm optimistic. You're pessimistic about it. Okay, cool. Let's go to the next ship we've got. This is Bosk SL. So this is the YV666 boss. So he has got the same stat bar as previous. While you perform an attack after neutralize results, you can change your crit to 2 hits. So like before. But now he's got a chassis ability, Imposing Behemoth.
What is that?
While an enemy ship at range 0 defends, if you are reinforced and the defender is in the matching forward or backward, matching your reinforced token, that enemy ship rolls 1 fewer defense dice. So it's like a intimidation with your reinforce.
It's a situational intimidate. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I actually really like that. That's
awesome.
That's an awesome upgrade just to have like straight on him as a ability to have.
Yeah.
And if we start going to the crew, Embo at the start of the engagement phase, if there is an enemy ship at range 0, perform a red reinforce action. That's amazing. So that just perfectly sets it up. Yeah. So you could,
if you're predicting the block, you just focus instead of reinforce.
Yeah. Yeah, I think your only problem, not a problem, but yeah, I think the only problem would be you are going to be stressing yourself from that from the red reinforce action.
Yeah.
So picking and choosing when's the right time to do that is going to be very important. As is like most like even if you flew Bosk, normal boss, a customizable boss, he's still going to need to pick and choose when to stress yourself. But I think with Embo, people might fall into the trap of just doing it all the time because it's like, oh yes, -1 agility, really important. But no, you're stressing your big ship, which might not be able to run away now. Yeah. Next, we've got Contraband Cybernetics. By the looks of it, that's got the exact same wording as normal Contraband, so that's fine. Just do actions while you're stressed, red maneuvers while you're stressed, which is pretty cool. And then Houndstooth Tidal. While you perform an attack, if you are reinforced and the defender is matching front or rear, you may change one of your focus results to a hit result. And if the defender is stressed, you can change one of your focus results to a crit result. That's pretty good. It's like Rack. It's like Rack's ability, except for if they're stressed, you get the crit. But that's pretty good. Passive mod, very important. Like just basically a free force for your attack. That's great.
Always been the problem with the YV666 and why Afra saw a lot more popularity. Because Afra just had ways of being super action efficient.
Yes, more loadout, action efficient.
That's why Bosk fell off, because you just couldn't pump the tokens you needed into such a large base ship to reasonably have it still on the table for so long, still doing damage. So I
Definitely.
think even just a soft mod like this, even if it's still one focus, that's still changing one hit to two or two to three. If
Yeah,
they're stressed, then
then you get
you're
the crit
throwing
for
a
your
crit into
ability.
that as
Yeah,
well,
I
which
love it.
also
Yeah.
which triggers Bosk's ability as well.
Yes, definitely. And I think that's really great. These things have always, everyone who's flown them has always just taken the reinforce action. There's no reason not to. They're a big target. They have 1 agility. Normally they cost 6 or 7 points. You need to keep them alive for as long as you can. So having something like Embo to give you free red reinforce actions is great. Having Houndstooth to give you free passive mods when you reinforce is great. Contraband to help your stress token mitigation. Not really, but like action economy while stressed is great as well. Because that's until the end of the round, so you could if you know you're gonna die, you could zero stop, take a lock. Then if someone's bumped into you, red reinforces well, even while stressed, because end of the round for contraband. So then you're double stressed, but there's a potential of you dealing massive damage before you die because you're still initiative 4.
Yeah,
And
and that's what Bosk liked doing. He liked being that big frontal bully who would get in, bump the higher initiative impact ships from other factions and really strip them of their actions. So the
definitely,
fact that if you're moving in first, you can take a focus or a target lock. You get the free red reinforce
yes,
when you have an enemy ship at range 0. It doesn't even have to be in your front arc either. If you've got a bunch of people chasing you and you manage to cause a pile up behind you, you
you
get that
could
red zero
reinforce the
reinforce
back.
out the
Yep,
back. And then any ship coming to your aid then also starts rolling higher attacks against them, because if the defender is in your matching front or rear reinforce.
yes,
So if you bump ships that are chasing you and you're defending only behind you, even if you're not getting attacks off, you're
you're
still
helping your
really
friends.
helping out the
Yeah,
rest of your
right,
exact. You're helping out a lot of your list from getting rid of those really pesky, high initiative ships that love being behind big, chunky, slow, 1 agility, no agility, large base ships. This really helps out with getting rid of those issues.
definitely. Yeah, if they want to chase me and I'm slow flying, there's a higher chance of something hitting me and letting me proc that intimidation. It's really good. I like this card. I really like this card. Um, Looking at all those abilities, current Bosk is, I believe he's 6 points. Is that right?
I think so.
Let's go find him real quick. I don't really fly Bosk. 6 points for 16 loadout. I got to be honest. I think this is a 6 point card. I think that
It's
I'll.
comparable to what he is. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, I think it's comparable to what upgrades you could take on it. Like, obviously, you can't take the exact same combination as what's on here, but like you could on Bosk take intimidation. You could take contraband cybernetics. It's 10 points of loadout. You could take Houndstooth is something different, but you could take something like Han Solo Gunner, which would let you get a focus token before you engage.
You
Yep,
can't take intimidation because you're a large base ship. So
correct. Okay, so no intimidation, but
yeah,
still, you could take stuff that gave you some more actions, contraband as well.
yeah.
You could take stuff like Forlom, which would help with your attacks and doesn't really affect you because you're a large base ship until you use it twice. I think this could be a 6 point card, definitely. Oh, oops,
I
wrong.
I think
Okay,
it's 6 points. It'll be a mistake to have it be anything more than 6.
yeah. I just got rid of the card. Oops. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I think he's definitely a 6 point ship. That I think there's low potential for him to be 7. I mean, actually,
He
Rack's 8 points
basically
now.
yeah. He basically gets a baked in BT1 because of the
Yes,
Houndstooth.
better.
BT1
Yeah,
you almost
better than
always
BT
ran
one.
with BT1 you almost always ran with Boss because you wanted to be getting crits.
Yeah, you want to get crits, and marksmanship's not going to do it for you because there's
Yeah.
a low chance of someone being in that bullseye.
So it's basically a baked in BT1.
Yes, definitely. But yeah, I do like this card. I think it's really cool that they've given the Houndstooth, because the Houndstooth is what the title is called. I like how they've given it to a ship because I mean, no one's using Houndstooth. What's it cost? 6 points to get a headhunter that might die when it emergency deploys. So I like how they've given it to him as something like this, where it helps you if you attack. It's great. Definitely a cool card. Maybe there's potential to make that the actual Houndstooth card. I would enjoy that switch. I would very much enjoy that switch.
I would like that being Houndstooth in general. Yeah.
Or maybe even like bringing out just bringing out an alternate Houndstooth, which is something that reads similar to this.
Yeah.
But I think that's good enough talking about Bosk. Let's go to Prince Zizor, the Star Viper. So this Zizor has the same stat bar as a normal, except for he has 3 charges and an extra shield, which comes from Virago. Well, what would come from Virago title. When you perform an attack against a strange ship, you may remove 1 stress token. Interesting. I think that ties in well with Cad Bane. He's got the adaptive micro thrusters. While you perform a barrel roll, you may spend 1 charge, that's one of his 3 charges he has, to use the bank template instead of the straight template. So, what do you think about that? I actually like that. I think that's a great change.
Okay. You know I love my Star Vipers.
Yes.
I will defend I'll defend bendy barrel rolls till the day I die.
Yes.
But I like this as well.
I love this. I think this is an excellent change to the chassis ability, giving you the option to banky barrel roll when you want, or just normal barrel roll.
Which is the straight,
100%. There has been times where both of us have played Star Vipers and have wanted to use a straight barrel roll. No way around it. And realistically, Zizor's Initiative 4. He has 6 hull and 3 agility, which is cool. But like realistically, he's not going to stay alive more than I reckon more than 3 options to use your banky barrel roll, unless you're using it every single turn. So I really like that. He's got the same stat bar, the same action bar. Sorry, focus, lock, barrel roll into focus, and boost into focus, which is good. Looking at his abilities, Crime Lord, 2 recurring energy. After you defend, if the attacker is in your front arc, you may spend 1 charge. If you do, the attacker gains 1 strain token. That's really good because that ties into his ability. And so it's Notorious. It's Notorious, but better.
It's a better Notorious.
Actually, well, you don't get the reroll, but you get to remove a stress token. Yeah, definitely. I think that's way better. Tying in with the ability, that's so good. And you can do it twice. You help your friendlies. Tie in with the SL Cad Bane. You can hand out so many strains in that round. Like people shooting at you, Cad Bane shooting at them, giving out strains. Really good. I like that. I really like that. And he also has Mandalorian Optics. During the system phase, spend an energy to acquire a lock. Same thing if the defender, while you have a lock, you can ignore obstacles. I like that. Zizor isn't a Mandalorian, is he?
No. I like what this shows me that the people who designed this card really went back and looked on where the Star Viper came from inside the lore, because the Star Viper was originally personally built for Zizor. Then after he died, the contract was then bought, and the actual platform themselves was manufactured by Mandal Hypernautics, which is a Mandalore-based shipbuilding company.
Yes, cool. Okay, that's a good bit of lore drop, because I remember you talking about this a while ago, but that's really interesting, and I do like that they are looking at, even though Zizor isn't a, what's it called? They mentioned XWA mentioned in their post that they were looking more at thematic, like movie moments, like looking at Mandalorian, Bo-Katan, Boba Fett from the movies and TV shows that have been released. So even though it isn't from one of them and it's just from your old lore, including that's really good. I like that.
Yeah.
Very
I
cool.
absolutely love the lore implications. It means that the people who designed this card know where this came from, because the Star Viper only existed because of a game called Empire at War, specifically the expansion to it.
Yeah.
So it only came into existence from them, and that's where I know all this lore done because I played that game religiously when I was younger. But
Nice.
but it makes me happy that XWA isn't just in it to make a tabletop game for putting plastic ships on a table and rolling dice. They want to explore, not build a new universe or expand on the current universe, but acknowledge where these things have come from before.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. I do
So
like that. Yeah.
it makes sense that a single prototype ship that was possibly built by Mandalorians and then repurchased from that company or repurchased by that company for general production, it would make sense that a Mandalorian-based shipbuilding company
Would
would put in their
include,
Mandalorian,
yes,
like would include their Mandalorian stuff.
definitely. Yeah.
It's like going back to it. I don't know if you've the BattleTech universe.
No, I don't know any of that.
Yeah, so there's
Too
a
young.
there's a whole faction of clans at the north of the galaxy where even if they get mechs from the inner sphere, they still put all their custom unique tech into those
Yes.
things.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, because that's what the Mandalorians who designed the ship would have done. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I like it. It's cool. Definitely. But yeah, so just to continue on the upgrades, Virago title has changed. During the systems phase, you can form a red boost or red barrel roll. It is no longer energy based. That is an every single turn. If you're not stressed, you can do that. So realistically, if
That's the systems
Xizor,
phase and not the end phase too.
yes, during the systems phase, definitely. So that means it's a lot harder for someone to see where, like, because if you did it in the end phase, your opponent knows, okay, cool, well they're there now. During planning, I can see what their best options are. During systems, you can't, and it
No.
works very well with his crime lord and his ability to remove stress. So if someone shoots him, give him a strain before. Let's just say you focus barrel roll during your move, so you're stressed. So someone shoots you, give him a strain, shoot them, remove your stress. Then during assistance phase, do a red barrel roll boost, which can be banky from adaptive micro
Yeah.
thrusters, and then remove your stress. Potentially, you could like boost and then move and then banky barrel roll. So what? Oh, it's just what would that look like?
So if you did a bank barrel roll forward
let's
and
just
then did the opposite bank for like, so if you did a bank barrel roll forward to the right, then did a one bank left, you've almost done like a 270-degree rotate.
yes. So
Like you've done a one straight rotated 90. Yeah.
yeah. So looking at that, so that's your systems phase. Do a barrel roll, and then let's just
Yeah.
say you one bank to the right, and then you can focus boost into a angle down here like that. So now you've got that arc there. So if you're same thing, if you're, let's just say you were at a 90-degree angle like this, you could then do that and be facing that way instead. So that means if you're playing off to the side, you can basically just do a turnaround, face the bottom. That's pretty good.
It's basically it's a one straight 90-degree turn, which Dallin Obros does, but you don't have a stress on like Dallin would. Or it can basically be an almost one Talon roll.
Yes, very
Because
similar to that. Yeah.
you end up at the 45, but it's almost like a one Talon roll. You just
Yeah.
end up at the 45 instead of the 180.
Yes, that's yeah. Yeah, that does make sense. Yeah. So I think that's amazing. So that is probably the reason why they changed microthrusters to adaptive microthrusters, giving you a charge base because they didn't want you to abuse your like every systems phase that gets a barrel roll, and then you become really hard to catch unless your opponent can predict whatever nonsense you want to throw at them.
I think that adaptive microthrusters became a thing because of that.
Yes, definitely. But yeah, I really like this card. I got to be honest, I'm going to say a 5-point ship here.
That's 5.
Yeah.
5.
So I can't justify that at a 6.
Originally. Yeah.
Well, no, he's 5 currently.
Okay, he's 5. Yeah.
But he has a bunch of loadout. Well, actually, he's got 14 loadout. But yeah, I think keeping him at 5 is good for that card because that means he will see play. He's going to be on the same line as Guri. This one is
the same. Yeah, it's roughly the same loadout cost.
Yeah, because you could say notorious for crime lord, 3 points for Mando Optics. That's 10 points there, and then Virago's 8. Yeah. So yeah, I think definitely could be. It could even be 6 points, but I would not fly. I don't know if I'd fly this at 6 points. It's one of those ships. It's one of those ships where can you justify taking Prince Sizor with this loadout instead of Ketsu on you in the Shadowcaster? Like, no, I can't justify that. It has to be 5 points. Yeah. Same as if we look at this and say this one's 5 points, can you justify Cad Bane being 5 points if this is what a 5 point ship would be?
If this is 5 points, Cad, I can see it for.
Yes, exactly. That's my thinking is looking at similar prices, looking at ships in the game that are at certain prices, like obviously, like Guri is 5 points with minimal loadout, 8 loadouts, so she can take basically 1 or 2 upgrades. I could see this being a contender for Guri. You have similar options to get out of arcs. You're still initiative 4, so that is a little bit of a problem. So you will have to be careful to not get bumped or not bumped into someone or not let someone bump into your butt once you do your whole turnaround thing. But yeah, I do like this card. I really like this card.
Well, Scum is king of the I4s.
Yes.
A lot of the nice, a lot of the really nice Scum pieces are I4.
Definitely, yeah.
So I like that these SLs acknowledge that because they're I4,
they have to contend.
They have to contend.
They have to contend.
They have to contend with what few I5 and I6 ships there are for Scum, but it also has to contend with the big flood of I5, I6 ships that are really popular right now.
Yes, definitely. So, yes. Okay. So, yeah, looking at these upgrades, I am thinking a 5 point ship for Zizor. Going back to that's Mando. Where am I doing? Looking at Bosk, I still think Bosk would be a 6 point ship, just to contend with his current customizable version. And I think Cad Bane would also be 4 points. Like, I don't like it. I think there could be a spot where Cad Bane is 5 points. There could be a chance that Bosk would be 7 points because realistically, he's got a similar ability to rack. Rack currently at 8 points has a lot of loadout and gets Minister Tour, which is very similar to Embo. Like, I could definitely see this Bosk being 7 points. But I'm thinking definitely 4 points for Cad Bane and 4 points for Zizor.
Yeah.
That's just how my mind's looking at it. Yeah.
I agree with that.
And then I know we have talked about it. Well, we haven't talked about it, but I have done a video on it. But let's just look at Mando SL as well. We have done some test games, both of us looking at different compositions for him. So obviously he has the same stat line as the normal Naboo's, with 2 attack, 2 agility, 3 hull, 2 shield, and he's got 2 force from the child. He's got the same ability as Razor Crest Mando. If you have 2 enemy ships looking at him, range 1 to 2, you can change a blank to a focus. He's got the restored Speedster, which is while you're disarmed, you can perform primary attacks against enemy objects in your bullseye. He has got a okayish stat line with focus, lock, barrel roll, boost, slam into red target lock. Outmaneuver, so if they're not looking at you, -1 defense die for the defender when you attack them. The child for your 2 force after you defend. If you suffer damage, recover a force. This child is great because there is no merciless pursuit condition attached to him, just a child. Kineso switch, which we can talk about because we both have never used this upgrade when we tested him. But after you slam, or after you perform a slam action, if you feel executed maneuver, you can spend 1 of your 2 charges to break all locks. And then the calibrated laser targeting that is on your what are they called? Delta 7 Jedi fighters, which is if they're in the bullseye, out of focus result. So we both have played different lists with Mando. I'm just going to say my thoughts is I like him as a 4-point ship. I think it's definitely a lot of things to be on a 4-point ship. He was spoiled at 4 points. Sorry. Okay. So I like him at 4 points. He's got a lot of loadout and upgrades for a 4-point ship. But the main problems I ran into with him is that, for one, you're barely getting your pilot ability off unless you're getting targeted, which, if you're flying him right, he's not going to be in that spot. At Initiative 5 with access to slams, I doubt he's ever going to be in that spot. When you flew him, did you fly him against you flew him against that Howl Runner swarm I was playing, right?
Yeah.
Even in that swarm, you never had 2 ships looking at him.
The
You
only
always
time
got
I
out.
had 2 ships looking at him was they were looking and shooting at someone else.
Yes, he wasn't the main target.
Yeah, so so that's a great way to have his ability trigger hit. So unlike in the actual Razor Crest, where you didn't mind him being looked at,
Yes.
you want to fly Mando definitely as an off-flank ship, where he's going to catch the edges of arcs, but he's never going to be the primary target. So you can get that ability off.
Definitely. And especially since you've got outmaneuver, 100% that's what you want to do.
The
but
slam lock makes it really easy to do as well.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, slam lock helps you line up the bullseye. So if you do slam, if you got bullseye, you can shoot anyway. You get your calibrated laser targeting, which helps with the child force, helps you get that into straight hits. He's not bad, but he falls into the trap of all people that have the child, which is if you don't shoot him, he doesn't get his force back.
Exactly.
So my view, and both times I've played you, I've totally ignored Mando unless there was literally no other ship to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those times, I don't think I shot him at all, honestly.
No, you didn't.
Yeah. So he does have outmaneuver to help with that because it makes people want to look at him, which does give him a higher chance of being shot. But at the same time, like, would you really, like, if you had like a range 3 shot on Mandalorian as your only shot and you've got 2 dice or something like that, would you even bother shooting him? Like, you're giving him a chance to give your force back, potentially only getting 1 damage through, if that. And then if you do hit him for 1 damage, like, you're probably just not going to see him again. He's probably just going to run behind you and then he's going to outmaneuver you anyway. Because he does have a good dial. He definitely has a good dial. Where is his dial? He's got 3 banks and then 3 Talon rolls. So easily enough, you can 3 bank. If you're stressed, you can 3 bank to clear stress and then Talon roll. If you line up a bullseye, you get a shot. Obviously, you can't link that into a lock, but still, it's still a shot, and you have your calibrated laser targeting because it has to be in the bullseye. Yeah.
I like him at 4 points because you can include him in lists that have a coordinator. He can fly on that off flank just inside that range 2 of a ship that's coordinating, because that coordinating ship's usually going to be flying pretty close to someone that's already looking in their direction anyway. So you can easily sit him at that range 3 mark.
Yeah.
The
range 2 mark, yeah. And then and then just get coordinated focus and then slam out and take a big shot.
There's
yeah,
plenty of ways. It's a lot more intuitive than you think flying Mando with this specific slam into target lock. Because when you think about it, if you slam lock and you get the bullseye to be able to have that shot with restored speeder at range 1, it's 4 dice now because you add a result, which you can reroll with your target lock.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, you could reroll if your target lock, go for a gamble. If you potentially only have that 1 result as a focus, just spend a force. But I definitely see a world where you just gamble all the time. Just say, there's a potential for me to never regain my force all game. Let's try and not spend it as much as possible and save it for when I need it. Because he's still a 5 hit point ship with 2 agility that could blank out and just die straight away. There is 100% a chance. 100%. Yeah, that has happened to me. Yeah, you did that to me, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you did that to me. Yeah. But yeah, so definitely that is the reason he's 4 points, is because he is only 2 agility, he is only 2 attack dice. If you cannot line up your CLT, you're not going to be getting more than 2 unless you're range 1. If you are in the middle of the fight and you are triggering your ability, it is only 2 dice, and if your opponent is always rolling 3 hits or something, that's always a damage going through, even if you have your ability on. So best case scenario, you're always taking a damage every time you're shot. Worst case scenario, you're taking 2 or 3. So he is a very fragile target. A very fragile ship.
Very fragile.
Very fragile, yeah. Definitely.
But at the same time, he's still really fun to fly.
He is fun. Yes, exactly. He is very fun. Same as like that Stromboli pilot or whatever it's called, the Resistance X-Wing that has the A-Wing dial. Potentially that one, people have been saying that he's probably going to be 5-point ship, and I think that one would come down to it's an X-Wing with an A-Wing dial. It's going to be fun. That's why I'm going to fly it. Not because it's super busted, but because it's fun. Same as Mando. Mando could potentially be amazing in a game, slam around everywhere, outmaneuver, get a bunch of hits, potentially only take 1 or 2 shots, which regen his force, take his shields, and then you're keeping your half points if you're playing chance, and you're still going around with your force back and dealing lots of damage. There's a chance that he is amazing in a game, but your opponent has to fall for it, and you have to play perfect. Yeah. And obviously, we both have played Mando a couple times. I think I've played him 4 times, and you've played him at least 2. And we've never triggered Kineso Switch.
I've never triggered it.
Yes, he's never been in a spot where he's survived after he's been locked, or that we've even bothered killing him in the game.
Yeah, I get that it's being faithful to the TV show with what it does when he flips the switch.
Yep.
But I wouldn't mind if it did something instead.
Like, give him an evade token. That would be my thing.
I could see evade token. I could see change the stress for like
change the stress restraint. Yeah.
If you change the change the deplete for restraint instead.
Yeah, I think that would be that would have been a better option. But I think if you do change Kineso Switch to anything else, that gives him a buff, like changing a stress to a strain or getting a evade or getting a calc. I think that puts him up to a 5-point ship. Just because that is way better.
I could even see arguments of changing Kineso Switch to the R4 droid.
The reduce the difficulty of your blue maneuvers, or like R4.
Even the R4 from the show. It could be a completely new, it could be a completely new ability on an R4 droid that hasn't been done before. It's not unreasonable that, because we have seen in the TV show when he's got the droid in the back, he's got the child in the front with him. We've seen him in combat situations with the child in his lap.
Yes. That could be something, but I feel like the reason they've included Kineso Switch in there as just a new illicit upgrade and as what would you call it? Kind of like a very situational, it may be super useful, it may not. That sort of thing. And don't forget, he is Initiative 5. So if someone is trying to chase him and they do lock him at Initiative 4, he could easily slam and just get rid of that lock. So there is uses for it. 100% there is uses for it, but it's one of those extremely situational ones, and I doubt it's going to happen unless you are putting him into a situation where he could be attacked, which you shouldn't be doing, I don't think.
I think it's more to help newer pilots who pick it up and go, Mandalorian from the TV show, this is cool.
Yeah.
But it's also, unfortunately, it helps SEAL Club because a lot of advice given to newer players is if you don't have anything else to do on your turn, target lock.
Yes, but that is, to be fair, that is pretty solid advice. That
Yeah,
is that
oh
is
no,
what you do. Yeah.
I'm not saying it's wrong advice. It's 100% what you. There's very few there's very few things you can be doing if you're not preparing to shoot. You can now you've got actions to do,
Yeah.
objectives,
And
etc. But
I definitely agree with Seal Clubbing. Remember, not to say names, but someone from our local, remember when they started playing, they just only took target lock actions because they're like, it's always going to help me no matter what. Instead
yeah,
of like, the motto that everyone's in, oh, if you don't know what you're doing, just focus. They just always take locks. So definitely if someone is like that, it will 100% benefit you. But there is a lot of lists where people get locks at a high initiative. They're like, specifically FO has an
yeah,
initiative 7 coordinator they
a
can
lot
include
of
in a
high,
list.
yeah, a
Yeah,
lot of free locks going around as well.
definitely. A lot of free locks. So there is definitely opportunities. I know if you're playing against Scum, there is a high chance you could use Kineso Switch. If you're playing against Empire, if you're playing against a swarm that might have what's that one upgrade called? The one that gives out all the locks, the missile. Oh,
The
jeez.
thread tracer.
Thread Tracer, yes. There's 100% a chance someone brings a Thread Tracer list and you can have 6 locks on you or something and then slam out next turn. Um, but 100% situational.
Yeah,
But
it is
yeah,
situational.
it's good. I think it's good for when you need it. Yeah,
It's also hard for us to talk definitively on it because we have such a smaller sample size.
that's true.
Our our local club is only 4 to 6 members at any given time
Yeah.
at the moment.
And you and I
So
play Scum a lot.
we play Scum a lot. We practically fly against each other every week.
we know how each other fly, and yes, that's
So
definitely
that's
doesn't
so
help.
it's why we've never used Kineso switches because we look at it, we know immediately the strength and the weakness of it, and we just say we're not going to play into it.
Yes, definitely,
We
definitely, yeah. An
there
experienced player will look at that upgrade and say, "I'm not even going to bother."
the
it's
only
it's
time they're gonna the only time they're going to bother is they take the lock when they've moved after Mando and
yeah,
I5.
they know they can hit it. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely, definitely. If I was playing Lima Kai with plasmas and Mando's already moved and I've got a shot on him, I will do it then.
yeah. But that being said, it's also a deterrent for your opponent as well
Mm,
because if they win the initiative, none of their I5s are going to lock Mando in prep now.
yeah, definitely.
Because
Yeah,
remember, you could have just programmed in the 2 straight or the 1 straight, and then you just slam out a 1 or a 2.
yeah. I think I would be focusing like I know it's hard to say off how we've been in our test games with him, but I think realistically for me, I would be looking at trying to do threes as much as possible, trying to
Agreed.
get
I agree.
an option to go super fast, like stay out of the fight and then just launch straight in, or even if you're in the middle of a fight, if you can land a 3 straight, do a 3 Talon roll afterwards, get behind them, then you can slow
Mhm.
play next turn and take out maneuver. Um,
There's
yeah,
plenty of yeah, you want to be flying in fast, but there's still plenty of reasons why you still want to do that 1 or a 2 speed maneuver.
yeah, definitely.
And having that slam, like if you're forced to fly him slow just for friendly bumping avoidance, having that slam for your speed 1 can still get him out of a lot of trouble and get him out of a lot of arcs.
That's true. Yeah. Well,
Because
you also have access to a boost if you want, or a barrel
yeah,
roll. You don't have to slam. The advantage with slamming is you can get into a better position and then lock afterwards.
exactly.
That's the only advantage with it. And you need the
Mhm.
bullseye, which is a disadvantage, but still, yeah. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's yeah, definitely. I think we said our piece of Mando. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, I'm super excited about these cards. I think I want to try and play with some of these. Definitely Zizor and Cad Bane. I think
I
I'm
want to
most
fly.
excited for them.
I would shove all 4 into a list. I'd play 4 standard loadouts gone.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And
I
there's
would.
there's what was it? Did they say 7 SLs is what they were
Yeah. So
planning on?
they're looking at there's. I think there's another 3 coming.
Yes,
2 or 3
definitely.
coming.
And they've name dropped Bo-Katan, they've name dropped Boba Fett. So if
Oh,
we say
I want
them,
to.
yeah. Give me
I want to
7 point
see
Boba
what.
Fett with like fearless only. I'll
I want
take
to
that.
see what Bo-Katan Gauntlet does for Scum.
Yes, definitely. I think that one will be really fun.
What is she? She's a gauntlet fighter for
Her ability sucks in
Imperial
Republic, I think it is, but
Republic.
her
Okay.
ability sucks. It's like a blank ability.
Now, after you fully execute a maneuver, gain 1 deplete token to choose an object in your front at 1 to 2. If you do, another friendly ship may perform a lock action on that object.
You're a 6-point ship who's giving up an attack die to give someone else a lock, which is great,
Yeah.
but nah. Nah. I would take a 3-point coordinator that every single faction has access to.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely want to look at flying these. We should probably do. I reckon we should do some test games at our local just to see how we feel about it. And I think definitely Zizor could fit in really well with what, like you were saying, there's a lot of strong 4-point initiative 4 ships in Scum. So Zizor leading that pack with Crime Lord, Cad Bane as well with his, I don't know where Cad Bane's gone, but Cad Bane with his Flechette Cannons and Xanadu Blood, I reckon, and Toto, like that's going to be really fun to just smack him with strains. Maybe take Ketsu, give them some tractors as well, just try and piss them off as much as possible. That's the dream.
Oh my god,
Oh.
I'm gonna do that.
That's that. Yeah, that easily. It'd be a 4-ship list.
I'm not flying Ketsu double Mando double Fangfire anymore. I'm flying Ketsu Cad.
Ketsu, Cad, Zizor, Fenral. Boom, 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 boom. I like that.
Yeah. Oh, that's really good. I like that a lot.
I think the only problem would be unless you're doubling up on strains on people, you're not going to have too much access to it, except for your initiative 4s with Cad Bane and Zizor. But yeah, cool. I'm going to end the video here because we've been going for 50 minutes. But yeah, definitely super excited about these cards. I can't wait to see what else the XWA is going to release. Actually, one more thing I want to comment on is that everyone but Mando has 3 upgrades on them.
Yes.
And every ship has a chassis ability as well, which is really cool. I actually think every ship that they've teased so far has a chassis ability. I mean, your X-Wing, the Resistance X-Wings had to have them, but the evacuation of Kador TIE fighters had that reckless ability. So hopefully they will give everything a chassis ability. Thumbs up for, fingers crossed for Boba Fett. Give him a chassis ability. That's really cool. I would love that. But yeah, very excited. I really like these. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Thank you, Madking, for coming on and talking. It was really good.
Yeah, of course.
Definitely like getting your opinions, especially since you played back in 1.0, back when I couldn't remember what I was doing. So you've got the knowledge. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video.
Thank you.
Sure. See ya.